What's good, everybody? It is Thursday, June 8th, 2023. This is your daily, and I mean every single day, sports betting brand of record. We call it the Early Edge. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting, and it is not close. So, another big day at the brand. Last night, though, kind of a ho-hum night for the crew. 4? Not bad. Won a little bit. What's our motto here at the show? We just want to win more than we lose. Also, Early Edge and the crew, we are taking over everywhere. What does our schedule look like today? We'll go to the CBS Sports app or CBSSports.com or Paramount Plus. Here's where we're going to be on CBS Sports HQ. I will be on at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Then at 6 tonight, M Squared and the Maestro. And then at 8 tonight, we're talking live betting options. Maestro, and of course, one of the best live bettors in the business, our 5-tool player, AB. So with all that being said, let's bring in the stars of the show because we have a big day today. And you know them. You love them. Alabama is here. M Squared is here. The counselor is here. And, there must be some fights this weekend because Danny Brasco is here. By the way, public service announcement. You guys all know I went to the Angels game last night, posted a pic, didn't hit. It's okay. 2 hours and 34 minutes. Was the game. It was beautiful. My kids were in bed before 10:30. Oh, my goodness. If you haven't been to a game this year, go. The pitch clock is amazing. The clock in between innings, amazing. Loved every bit of it. And Mike Trout hit a home run. And Amags cashed the Angels at minus 135. So we were a winner all the way around. But we got to focus on today. And, Allie, I'm coming right to you. Because our marquee matchup looks like this. It's 2-0 in the Stanley Cup final. We're going back to Florida. How close, counselor, do you live to the arena there in Fort Lauderdale?
I would say it's about 10, 15 minutes.
And are they excited for the game today? Are they kind of feeling it locally? Yes?
Yes, but I mean, honestly, it's funny because after the Heat got blown out yesterday, there's kind of a calm. We're starting to think, hey, maybe this isn't going to go well on both levels, but we'll see what happens.
Very interesting. So, Allie, based off what the counselor just said, is it going to go in the Florida Panthers' direction? They need a win. They are minus 120 to win game 3. The total is sitting at 6. Talk to me.
So I think I'm going to have to, like I said, I'm a Vegas fan, so I don't really want to go against them too much, but I just think, looking at the edge that the Panthers usually have at home, and I know they've, like I said, I've been kind of riding the Knights just because they've dominated against the Panthers in Vegas, but it's kind of, the script kind of flips when it goes to Florida, and I don't have the exact number right here, but I think the Panthers are like 6-1 against the Knights in Florida there, so that kind of changes things. I do think that they get at least one. I'm not sure which one, but I would actually rather lean towards the under here. I know we saw the first 2 games go over, but I just think that the goaltending is going to kind of shape up, especially with Bobrovsky at home, so I think I'm going to have to say the under is more of my lean.
And there's a big difference between 5.5, which was the number in games
exactly.
1 2, right? And 6. Huge difference. Huge
Yeah,
difference.
100%. Like if it was like 5.5, then I would maybe say over, but at 6, I'm definitely going to have to stick with the under.
All right. So we got an under from the Ice Queen. M Squared, let me come to you. How are you leaning tonight?
I'm leaning to the Florida side. It's not a strong play in this particular spot, but looking at the expected goal models, everything was very, very close still in that last game, despite the lopsided score. Bobrovsky, look, he's been incredible all season. Chief is a big fan of him. He's trying to tell me that the dogs are barking, so potentially take Vegas here. But yeah, I lean Florida, slight lean on the under, slight lean to under 1.5 goals in the first period as well.
We have new viewers, new fans every single day. And for those of you who are new, when Chief shows up or Chiefs makes a sound, he likes the play. I'm not kidding. It's true. He's a vital part of the crew. I'm not kidding. He shows up, you better listen. All right. Speaking of listening, you can listen to M Squared. You can listen to me. You can listen to AB, the Maestro, all day. Where? You know where. Here.
Get breaking news.
Big news coming out of the NFL today.
Highlights and instant reactions.
The largest final round comeback in tour championship history. We're down to the final 4.
I just want to take time to analyze greatness.
Talk winners and losers with a guy who's already a big winner.
CBS Sports HQ. It's all sports all day long.
And we've got a new fan in the chat. Hyphy Strike says, I'm new. Hey, Early Edge fam, let Hyphy Strike know how we treat new people here at the Early Edge. Let him know. Welcome. Bring all your friends too. Everyone here is welcome every single day. So thanks for joining us. Now, time to play Pick the Prop. And this is a whole lot of fun to predict who's going to go yard, but it's not just a guess. It's an educated take because there are numbers that support these different players. So here's what we're looking at. Kyle Schwarber plus 250. Ronald Acuna plus 300. Max Muncy plus 350. And remember, there are 7-day games, 5-night games. Don't get shut out. Counselor, let's start with you. Of these 3 players, in your mind, who should go yard today?
Well, I'll tell you what, it hasn't gone well for Ashcraft, and he's the one who was facing Max Muncy. That's a 12:35 Eastern Standard Time start. Dodgers coming off a loss, by the way. If you wanted to throw something in a parlay, I think the Dodgers would be a good bet considering the pitching matchup, Ashcraft against Kershaw. But yeah, 4 innings, 9 hits, 10 earned runs his last time out, and then you skip a game and you go back 2 games, 10 hits, 7 earned runs in back-to-back games. That was the stat line. So I think Max Muncy is going yard here.
By the way, the Dodgers last night they were up 6-2 at one point. The night before, they were up by 4 or 5 runs, and Cincinnati came back and won. So the Reds are starting to play a little bit better too, just full transparency. All right, so Counselor there. Now, Danny Brasco, I've made you sit there long enough. Where are you leaning on Pick the Prop today?
Well, may I approach the bench, Counselor, because I'm riding with you on this one. I like Max Muncy at plus 350 here. Like you mentioned, you mentioned Ashcraft's last start and the one before. Let's go back to his last 5 starts. He's given up 7 home runs across the past 5. And I actually backed him early on in the season when I saw him pitch. He's a cut fastballer. And when it's not cutting, it gets rocked. He cashed for me as a money line dog once. And since then, he has been getting absolutely obliterated. So with the platoon advantage, lefty versus righty, I like Max Muncy to go yard in Great American Ballpark where the ball tends to fly.
All right. Now, Allie, coming to you. Who do you like today on the Diamond?
Oh, sorry. My dogs just jumped all over.
I love it. Real-time dog issues. We love that here at the Early Edge. So
my dogs are going crazy there. But I'm also going to have to go with Max Muncy. They both kind of take the words right out of my mouth. Graham Ashcraft, he's been pretty terrible, especially in those last few starts. And he's also been really home run prone. I think he's given up a home run in 5 of his last 6. So just based on that, I think the chances for a home run are most likely over in the Dodgers game. So I'm going to have to go with Max Muncy too.
And once again, it's an early start, 12:35 Eastern Time. It's the first game of the day. M Squared, talk to me.
It's going to be unanimous here, Coach. Rarely pick a hitting prop on a home team player. Muncy's the only player on the road here, but this is a great spot for him. The guys in Allie all picked on Ashcraft. I want to do the same. Danny mentioned the cut fastball. It has not been good for him. Looking for a lot of regression on this pitch going forward on him as well. Just the best ballpark in Major League Baseball in terms of home run hitting, guaranteed 9th inning team at bat, hungry after a little loss last night, got emotional there. So I like Max Muncy in this spot. And I will also say a little sprinkle on the Reds to win the division at plus 2,500 right now.
A little sprinkle, You better listen to the man. Futures, live betting, nobody better. That is Pick the Prop. Now, it's time to get to our board, but not before I pay those pesky little bills. Here's another word from one of our incredible partners.
The PGA Tour heads up north, where defending champion Rory McIlroy competes against a strong field at the RBC Canadian Open this weekend on CBS.
All right, right now, Rory McIlroy is 1 under par in his defense, actually 2-time defense of the RBC Canadian. And Rebecca in the chat said Justin Rose, who I have as a best bet in a head-to-head matchup, is starting off pretty good as the leader currently in the morning waves. So Rebecca, thanks for watching that. And us, Counselor, go.
I was just going to say Rose is one of my first-round leaders as well, so let's hope that keeps up. And he's one of my outright winners, just like you, Coach.
As I was getting ready to say after I pointed out Rebecca, it's okay. It's okay. You are one of the very few that are allowed to ruin my flow without getting chastised. All right, now, somebody in the chat recognizes that I'm one of the, if not the top soccer capper at SportsLine currently. They're asking for a soccer pick today. James, I believe. So, James, I'm going to give you one. Very light schedule today. But I did my hardcore handicapping after I got back from the Angels game last night. So, Sparta and FC 20 over 2.5. I don't have the juice in front of me, but it doesn't matter. That will cash today. James, for you. Sparta, FC 20 over 2.5. Every time they've met this season, at least 4 goals have been scored. At least 4. Just off the top of my head. All right, now, with that out of the way, I'm looking at 4 gorgeous faces. I'm looking at 4 incredibly bright minds. But there's only one that gets me to do this. So, Mikey, if you don't mind, you know the drill, son! It doesn't matter the sport. I tell you all the time, if it's Thursday, round 1, or tennis, French Open, Wimbledon, baseball, NFL, we ask him to do it all, and he does it without complaining. So if you don't mind, sir. Give it to me.
All right, Coach. We're going back to a matchup we targeted earlier this week. It's going to be the Boston Red Sox here. Plus 115, plus 120 available in the market as well. I made the number on this one all the way down to minus 104. I had the Red Sox winning 51% of the time here in this matchup. I want to pick on Aaron Savali just a little bit here. We've already talked about Graham Ashcraft and his cutter. Now we're going to talk about Aaron Savali's cutter. This pitch, his actual weighted on base average on this so far, 280. Decent, a little bit above average. The expected number on it, though, 330, putting him below Major League Baseball average. He lacks strikeout upside. He does not have the upside to get out of trouble with the strikeout. That's what's going to hurt him throughout the rest of the season here. The Red Sox, a top 5 offense against right-handed pitching. But on the other side, we look at this Cleveland offense. It doesn't really matter whether they're facing left or right-handed pitching. 28th against lefties, 29th against righties in terms of weighted on base average. Do not like the Guardians to put up a lot of runs today. Do like the Red Sox to get after Aaron Savali here. So I took them on the money line plus 115.
Absolutely love that play. Bradley in the chat says, Coach, that's a great soccer pick, but also he says the Mike intro is the GOAT. I'm thinking maybe that would be a good t-shirt for you, Mikey. What do you think? What do you think? Give it to me, M-squared t-shirt? Coming very, very soon, I might add. Now, Mikey, as always, thank you very much. There is a big-time Game 3 tonight, but that's not where Allie is going today. Oh, no, no, no. She is wading into the first 5 waters that sometimes can be very, very chilly, but today I believe the water's warm. Allie, what do you got?
Yep, so I'm going to go with the Diamondbacks first 5, minus half a run, minus 110 there. Just looking at this pitching matchup in Arizona a few weeks ago, I guess, Merrill Kelly, he was able to go 7 innings against the Nats, and he kept them just 1 run, and then kind of flipping that, and then looking at Josiah Gray, he gave up 3 earned runs in 5 innings against the Diamondbacks, and I know the Diamondbacks have been playing really well throughout the first 2 games of this series here. I think that they'll get that lead early, and it'll probably it won't be like a huge blowout. I'm not seeing anything, but I just think that when it comes down to it, I think that I'm definitely going to kind of fade and kind of pick on Josiah Gray a little bit here. So I'm going to have to go with the Diamondbacks first 5.
It is so nice when I go to make my plays in the morning and then I see that you're on the same play. I love the Diamondbacks.
Oh, I didn't know that. That makes me feel better too.
Yeah, I literally just wrote it down before the show. So
love that.
They've been good in Washington. And the Nationals are just horrible. Love that pick. Bring the number down, lay the half a run. Really smart way to go about it. All right. I feel like last week Danny had a perfect night because the judging really was very, very sketch. So I'm going to give you the maestro spot today, okay? So, Counselor, I'm going to come to you. And real quick when it comes to the golf, Mr. Aberg, people don't know this guy, but it was just at 400. He just bogeyed, so he's back to 3. Bryce Garnett is at -5, and then your boy, Justin Rose, is at -4. If we get beat by Bryce Garnett, I will have a big-time issue with that. Stop it, Bryce Garnett. But I know that there is still an afternoon wave to come. And with that being said, what do you got?
Well, I'm actually glad you brought that up because one of the benefits of having this show at 10 Eastern Standard Time is that we get some sample size in the morning. And I think that's important at the RBC Canadian Open because this is a course that nobody has played on. So what I've kind of looked for in the morning wave is just to see if some of my picks, some of my plays are playing out. And what I mean by that, I kind of went heavy on the ball strikers, and they seem to be playing well. If you think of classic ball strikers like Justin Rose or Tommy Fleetwood, Corey Connors, all doing pretty well here. And that really lends itself to the pick I have here. This is at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time in the afternoon. It's one of 2 picks that I have today. It's Michael Kim plus 125 over Robbie Shelton and Kevin Tway. You know, if you watch the early wedge, I'm pretty big on Michael Kim this week in DraftKings and in the betting market, and he has been striking the ball really well. He's kind of been doing everything well, including the finishing positions. He's closing out tournaments well. but I'm really looking at the ball striking because he's going up against Robbie Shelton and Kevin Tway. And these are guys, especially Robbie Shelton, who can flash here and there, but he's not doing it in a sustainable way, in a ball striking way. A lot of it with Tway and Shelton, to the extent they're good at all, which they haven't been lately, it's usually with the short game, and they're very sporadic with the ball striking. So at a plus 125 number in this 3-ball, this again is a 3-ball for round one only, starts at 130. I like Michael Kim at plus 125. My next pick, well, we're going back to the Astros first 5 money line at minus 122. This is actually down to minus 116 on FanDuel. It's minus 125 on DraftKings. And I don't think Caesars has the first 5 line out, but they're playing the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays, just so everybody knows. Astros first 5 money line. This is really a bet on Framber Valdez, if I'm being honest. Jose Berrios has been great, but I think he's really due for some regression. Valdez has been so good, limiting hits, limiting runs, striking out a ton of batters. The Astros have lost 2 in a row. Frankly, they haven't won since we bet on them first 5, which was 3 days ago. I just think Berrios is due for some regression, and I think, especially against the Astros lineup, I just don't think he's going to have the type of game he's had over the last few. So give me the Astros first 5 money line, minus 122.
All right. And a reminder, 7 early games, 5 late. Check out the times. By the way, some of you in the chat are asking the soccer league that my play that I gave out is in. It's Holland. It's Dutch. And there's 2 different divisions. There's only one playing right now, and I'll spell for you because I can't pronounce it. Eredivise. Starts with an E. That's the one. There's only one game. And today there's basically no soccer, so it shouldn't be hard to find for you. All right. Now, Danny, last week, you had a really, really good week. And of all of our crew members, you may be on Twitter the most transparent. You'll put a video out whether you win or whether you lose. I respect it. But there's been some issues with where the fights have been taking place. Where is UFC 289 this week?
We're in good old Canada.
Oh, okay. Talk to me then.
Back to Canada we go. This is the first fight card in Canada since, I believe, 2019. So it should be an interesting one. And it will feature a lot of Canadian fighters, some of which I'll look to back. So in this main event first, we're going back to a championship fight. Amanda the Lioness Nunes looking to defend her bantamweight strap. And she's taken on Irina Aldana, a really, really tough, gritty Mexican fighter. Those guys are built from a different cloth. And I like the over 2.5 in this main event more than anything. I think the line is a little too wide and is not as indicative of how competitive this fight might be. There's some questions about where Nunes is at after Juliana Pena first stole her title. She came back, rebuilt herself and reclaimed that belt. But I think it would be a mistake to engage in a straight-up boxing affair with Aldana, who has heavy hands and good footwork and can fight on the outside. She doesn't need to just rush in recklessly like Pena did to successfully beat Nunes. Where Aldana struggled in her last fight and in a number of UFC fights is in the clinch game and perhaps in the grappling. She really spent a lot of time on her back against the fence against Macy Chiasson, who's a good grappler, but I think Nunes will have even more strength and even more skill in the grappling department. So I believe Nunes would be most suited to pull off this win by dragging her into deeper waters, testing that cardio, and making her grapple with her. So if she does so, I think this fight will go over 2.5 rounds in a closely contested one. I wouldn't be surprised if Aldana touched her with a big shot, and Nunes maybe backed away cautiously after feeling that power. So I'm going to say this one goes further on into the fight. It's a 5-rounder. I'll take the over 2.5 here. Let's go to the co-main event now. Fantastic fight here, and this might be the one I've circled on my fight card the most. It's Beneil Dariush taking on Charles Oliveira. And fight fans might be surprised to see Oliveira as an underdog once again. He's defended the belt when he was the lightweight champion as a dog multiple times. But I think the odds makers got this one right, and Dariush is the favorite for a reason. He has been criminally underrated throughout his career. And in the grappling game where Oliveira is the most dangerous, he's got the most submissions in UFC history, Dariush is more than capable. He's an extremely talented grappler. I could even see him having offensive grappling success of his own. But if they keep it on the feet and it's standing, Dariush's kickboxing has gotten razor sharp. In his last fight, he absolutely waxed future lightweight title contender, potentially Mateus Gamrot, and it wasn't even close. He was a plus 200 over that, plus 230 underdog, and it wasn't competitive in my opinion. I expect him to outpoint Charles Oliveira on the feet. I could see him dropping him early on in this fight with smooth kickboxing combinations. And even at minus 140, I'm willing to play it. Normally, I'm giving out dogs and prices much under this here, but I think Dariush is the right side on this, and the odds are telling. Let's go to a fight earlier on in the card for an underdog where I really like to give you guys these kind of lines, underdog picks. And we're normally cashing lines around here. This is Ayman Zahabi here at plus 105. I listened to interviews about Zahabi talking about his opponent. Feels like he's got the right game plan for Arichi Lan, who is a very aggressive boxer who will march forward, put that forward pressure on you. But Zahabi has said that he feels like he doesn't set up his punches and he kind of just headhunts that right hand without setting it up with the jab or anything in front of it. He's coached by his brother, Firas Zahabi, who is a prolific striker and very popular coach out of TriStar Gym in Canada. And I think they've got the right game plan for an aggressive fighter. Zahabi moves really well laterally. And if Arichi Lan can't find him moving forward and cut off the cage, I think he'll just dance on him and probably win this by decision. So I like him as a dog here. I'm taking Ayman Zahabi. And finally, let's close out with a 2-leg parlay. These have been cashing for us. Coach, like you know, one of the preferred betting styles in UFC. 2 favorites that I really like. First off, Dan 50K Ige taking on Nate Landwehr. Look, I like Nate the Train. He fights with a really fun style, and he thrives in the chaos. But fighting chaotically against a guy like Dan Ige with dynamite in his hands is a recipe for disaster. Dan Ige has one-punch knockout power, and Landwehr is just too hittable. I think this is a huge step up in competition. You look at Ige's record, yeah, he's lost a bunch of his last 5 fights. I believe he's 1-4, but the 4 losses are to title contenders, Calvin Kattar. Movsar Evloev, a monster matchup in the wrestling department. I think Ige has a much more favorable matchup against Landwehr here. And let's close that parlay out with a Canadian fighter that is on the rise, and you will know his name after this one. It's Mike McClure. The UFC has been waiting to give this guy his shine, I believe, and now in this Canada card, he'll get it. This is going to be a Mike McClure coming out party. Circle that name on your fight cards, guys. McClure and Ige parlay plus 105. And there's a 4-pack of UFC picks for you guys.
I will ask you, with all the seriousness in the world, to the people at home, do you want to do that work? I didn't think so. A little bit of housekeeping. For many of you who may be new to golf betting, on Thursdays and Fridays, the matchups are not universal across every sports book. So, see, I'm coming to you. Some of the sports books don't have your 3-ball, but they have Michael Kim against S.H. Kim. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think somebody who asked that clarified that the juice is minus 115. I actually do like that matchup.
Okay, very, very good. Also, for those of you MMA fans, tonight there is live fights. I will be doing all of the betting content, as I always do. Excited, Danny, for the PFL 4 tonight?
You know, I've been locking in more and more on PFL since we did our little show with your boy Sean O'Connell, and Fight League is getting really good. So I'll definitely be tuned in. PFL's got exciting new stuff, the smart cage. I like a lot of the things that Fight League is doing.
And they have me, so that's good too. Pre-show, 6 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN+. We've got all the best bets, all the fights, and some of the numbers are pretty big. So as Danny said, we got to parlay some of those, which I only condone in MMA. EC, don't come at me. Do not come at me. All right, great show today. Grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here is the recap, courtesy of the snake on the ones and the twos. M-squared, 1 big play so far. Red Sox money line plus 115. Then the counselor, 2 plays, baseball, golf. Astros, first 5 money line, minus 118. Then a 3-ball, Michael Kim, plus 125 over Robbie Shelton, and Kevin Tway. Kevin Tway's got to find his game, or he will not be on the PGA Tour moving forward. Then Danny Brasco, 4 big plays. Let's go Nunez Aldana over 2.5 rounds, minus 120. Benil Dariush, she's a stud, minus 140. And then it's a hobby, plus 105. And then a parlay, Dan 50K, E-Gay, and Mike McClure. Let's put them together. Bring that number down to plus 105 or up to plus 105. Then Allie, 1 play today. Diamondbacks, we love it. First 5. Let's lay the half a run, which means they have to be ahead at the end of 5 to cash that ticket. Do not forget, early edge in 5 today at 4 p.m. Eastern time with Amazing Grace and the crew. More best bets, and I promise you there will be a best bet for the NHL Stanley Cup Final Game 3. And if you want more than that, use the promo code EARLY. Do it right now. We had new people in the chat today. They told you, I'll give you 30 days for free. You can try out all my cappers, all the simulations, all the articles, everything for free. Then after that, $10. $10 a month. That's it. Come be a part of what we're building. It's fun, and we educate and entertain. Hashtag knowledge is power. So with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, Lobo, Alabama, M-squared, the counselor, Danny Brasco, of course, the snake, always doing the hard work behind the scenes. I am simply the coach trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. Is what we're all about right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.